What is the current best class in the Battlefield 6 Battle Royale? Well, it's pretty easy to answer that question. The best class right now is definitely Engineer. Now, of course, I'm sure you realize why that is the case. Due to the tank meta slash strategy, but the other classes aren't useless, to say the least. Other classes still do have their fair share of benefits, but for right now, always make sure you have an engineer on your team in order to take out the tanks that are definitely more than likely going to be in the end game. But we need to talk about the other classes and why you shouldn't abandon them either. Like I said, always have an engineer in your team if you have the choice to, and if you notice your other teammates are not picking engineer, you should definitely be the one to pick engineer. Good evening, Los Angeles. My name is Manifold. Let's get into why engineer is the best class right now, but also not to abandon the other classes that are in the game too. So, of course, with Engineer being the best class in the game, there are multiple reasons for that. Of course, with the tank busting ability that the Engineer class has with rockets and guided rockets, especially once you get into the later game, there are other reasons why I would choose Engineer over the other classes, and that has to do, of course, with the things that you find in the map as well. Of course, in ambulances, you can find defibrillators, so there isn't really necessarily a reason to pick Medic right now over Engineer. With Engineer, you do spawn in with your initial rockets. I think you get 2 or 3 rockets in them, and you can pick up a set of defibrillators that will help you, of course, to pick your teammates up faster. However, if you do have a medic on your team, definitely stick the medic with the defibrillators, maybe stick one other class with it, in order to, of course, be able to pick up teammates a lot faster. Medic also is not a bad choice either, because, of course, if you don't take the defibrillators and choose to take some C4, which, of course, is also extremely helpful in taking the tanks down, you can also pick up the mines that you plant on the ground that can also take the tanks out. So if you are more of the medic build, definitely have some C4 on you for the late game when these tanks start to show. Medic, of course, will also be able to help you to revive teammates faster without the defibrillators, so when you're dragging them, you can pick them up a lot faster. Medic, in my opinion, is the second best class in the game and definitely deserves its spot, in your team. I would say that I would say that Engineer and Medic are the 2 best classes, and I would even go as far as to say these might be the only 2 classes we need to be picking right now, only because the other 2 classes, Assault and Recon, in my opinion, Engineer and Medic outshine them with their ability to provide usefulness for the team. Now, that's not to say they're useless, of course, because Recon still lets you spot enemies by aiming at them and doing damage to them, and you also get the Recon drone, which can be extremely helpful, especially in the late game when you don't know where enemies are, and that circle is closing. However, I do think that Engineer and Medic still outshine the Recon due to, of course, Engineer being able to take out tanks and cars very effectively, and Medic, of course, being able to pick up your team. Now, let's not leave out Assault, of course, because Assault still does have the AR proficiency. Of course, Medic has LMG proficiency, Recon has Sniper proficiency, and Engineer has SMG proficiency, which is why I would, of course, also recommend to take Engineer, because SMGs are really, really good in this Battle Royale. And Engineer proficiency, I think, lets you aim faster with them, as well as have better hip fire shooting, when you do use SMGs. So, Assault, the main reason that Assault can be useful, of course, is, I don't know if you guys know this, but Assault class lets you apply armor plates 33% faster per the Battlefield Twitter. I knew that it was faster. I did not know it was 33% faster, which I guess does give some sort of tactical advantage when it comes to, of course, fighting. I don't know how effective a 33% chance would be and how much it would outshine being able to take tanks out and revive your teammates a little bit faster. But I would rather have the ability to take tanks out in that regard than to have faster plating. With how many tanks we see in the games, especially toward the end game, I think being able to take the tanks out is a lot more valuable than being able to apply armor plates faster. And of course, that's just my opinion. Depending on your playstyle, depending on what you prefer in a class, you are, of course, going to gravitate more toward some other class. But I still feel like with how many tanks you see in a game, I think last night, the most tanks we saw in a game was 3, which, of course, doesn't sound like a lot, depending on, the amount of squads that are in the game. But I still think that that is a large amount, and how devastating the tanks are, you definitely need something to be able to destroy them effectively, before they end up taking out you and your squad. So that's why I prefer Engineer over any other class right now. Now, I don't think tanks need to be nerfed. I don't think tanks need to be removed from the game at all. I actually really love that tanks are in the game, because guess what? There's an effective strategy to deal with them that is easily effective, that is easily available to all players and effective. I've been in tanks as well, and this might be a skill issue, but whenever I'm in a tank, I will get a few kills, but I will often get destroyed pretty quickly because teams will tend to focus me down and destroy the tank. Now, if you are against the tank and you are an engineer, what do? Well, like in base Battlefield, what you do, of course, if you have it, is lay your mines out and try to shoot it with a rocket as best you can. If there is somebody that's spam repairing it, of course, take that person out first in order to destroy the tank. Once you are able to have the tank focus on yourself or one of your other teammates, preferably be on one of your other teammates. Now, I'm not trying to sound mean about it, but if you are the engineer, you need to have your primary focus be on the tank and have the tank's primary focus not be on you. So, if you are able to play with your team, if you do have your teammates on comms, or you are able to communicate with your teammates somehow, get them to attract the tank's fire, and you will be able to take the tank out very fast. So, that is why I think Engineer is the best class in the game right now, and why you should be picking it, and or have an Engineer in every one of your games. Everybody, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you guys have another class that you enjoy or another class that you think is more effective, definitely let me know about it. I love talking about the Battlefield 6 Battle Royale. It's been so much fun to play. And if you guys haven't tried it out, I would definitely recommend trying it out if you love Battle Royales, because this is a definite contender for a top Battle Royale right now, in my opinion. Hope you guys stay hydrated. I hope you guys stay healthy. And I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. Take care, everybody.